On this edition of Somerville Neighborhood News, we will look into the complicated relationship between the Dominican Republic and Haiti as deportations loom. Find out how Somerville startups are taking advantage of the new crowdfunding options. Kids can lose their academics during the summer. Stop by at the Somerville Public Libraries, where all sorts of programs are attracting kids to read. And learn more about the Freedom School program that is cultivating kids' self-esteem over the summer. All these stories and more on Somerville Neighborhood News.
Hello everyone and welcome to Somerville Neighborhood News. Today is July 28, 2015, and I'm Melanie Morris. Somerville Neighborhood News is your bi-monthly newscast and online source for multimedia news. It's a community service production of SCAT TV created by staff, interns, and your neighbors. We bring you the news every 2 weeks on Channel 3 and on our website, somervilleneighborhoodnews.org. The Dominican Republic and Haiti share an island and a long, complicated history. During the last half-century, Haiti has suffered under dictatorial rule and has been devastated by natural disasters. For many Haitians, the Dominican Republic offers jobs and a more stable life. But in 2010, the DR passed legislation that tightened the rules governing citizenship status. Today, 500,000 Dominicans of Haitian descent face deportation if they cannot prove their citizenship. Nikita Sampath looks into the issue.
The Dominican Republic's Boston consulate was the scene of a recent protest by several local organizations, including the Haitian Coalition in Somerville. At issue is the Dominican government's recent push to enforce a 5-year-old law that puts Dominican-born citizens of Haitian ancestry at risk of deportation.
For those individuals who are born there, if you were born in the country and you're raised, that's all you know. So they should have the same right as other Dominicans.
In 2010, the Dominican government passed legislation that resulted in new citizenship policies. The new policy stated that children of immigrants born in the DR would take the nationality of their father and not be considered Dominican citizens.
In United States, any baby that born here is U.S. citizen. That the law in here, only 24 countries around the world have the same seat in the United States.
In the 1950s, during the regime of the Haitian dictator Jean-Claude Duvalier, thousands of Haitians were sent across the border to work in the sugarcane fields. Many remained in the country and made the Dominican their home.
Just because you are born with certain ethnic groups and you've been treated differently. It's totally racist. It's a racist policy.
While the Dominican government is saying that they have not started mass deportations, there are recorded examples both in the Washington Post and the New York Times where they're talking about, militia and policemen going into these towns in the Dominican Republic and rounding up people, darker-skinned people, assuming of Haitian descent, and picking them up and sending them to the border. So it's completely based on race and really about the color of people's skin.
Activists maintain that the country's new policies are a grave human rights violation.
The Inter-American Court on Human Rights has already ruled that mass expulsions based on race or any basis for that matter are illegal. And they also decided that the retroactive nullification of people's citizenship, or more specifically in this case, of Dominican citizenship, is not okay.
But Dominican officials say there haven't been any deportations as yet, and the people crossing back to Haiti are doing so voluntarily.
Why they go back volunteer? Because in the future, they will qualify for apply for the Dominican green card. People that don't stay in Dominican illegal, the immigration they send to Haiti, they will not qualify in the future. It's the same in the United States.
One of the reasons the Dominicans cite for the policy change is security concerns. During the 2010 earthquake, a number of Haitian prisoners are said to have escaped and crossed the border.
We don't know who are they. We don't know where are they. So we need to register everybody inside Dominica for security. And we don't know that the immigration law help protect our internal security.
Dominicans who do return to Haiti will have to adapt to a culture they've never been part of and also a language that's foreign. For Somerville Neighborhood News, I'm Nikita Sampath.
According to Dominican sources, possible deportees are caught in a political struggle between the two governments. The DR says the new measures are in response to corruption and incompetence in the Haitian capital that are holding the Haitian economy back. As part of the new economy, small business bank loans and venture capital are being replaced by online crowdfunding. Entrepreneurs are using websites like Kickstarter and GoFundMe to reach thousands of potential investors. They simply post a short description of their business model and fundraising goals. Giuliann Frendak looks at two Somerville startups taking advantage of the new funding options.
Websites such as Kickstarter and GoFundMe are innovative alternatives to traditional funding methods for creative projects, everything from funding films to opening an eatery. Rather than using traditional funding sources like bank loans or venture capital, these small entrepreneurs turn to lots of small dollar backers to make their vision a reality. Two up-and-coming ventures in Somerville have raised capital through this online platform, a new restaurant in Union Square called Juliet and Tech Hub Boston on Elm Street.
We use the Kickstarter platform to kind of gauge the community's interest and meet some more people that we're going to see day to day here at the restaurant. We wanted part of the beginning of our process to include the neighborhood and get people involved and sort of serve as a test for us. Is this something that the neighborhood actually wants? Are they going to get behind us?
Besides supporting their neighborhood startup, backers are given return on their investment based on how much money they pledge.
So we had some things that are shippable, whether they're spice kits, aprons, t-shirts, tangible things. But most of those rewards, especially on the lower levels, are definitely food or beverage at Juliet.
The owners, Josh and Katrina, successfully reached their goal of $40,000 through Kickstarter in 28 days, enabling them to establish a permanent location at 257 Washington Street in Union Square. Prior to that, however, Josh and Katrina spent years engaging with people through the use of pop-up restaurants and other events. Their most current venture is called Gitana at Cuisine and Locale, a concept that celebrates both modern and traditional Spanish cuisine.
For two years, we had done everything from one-night barbecue events in art galleries to a series of dinners on farms or at our friends' restaurants.
If the community wasn't interested, well, that would have forced us to take a look at our concept, because it's very important that we're not just slapping Juliet into Union Square, we're growing up with Union Square.
Josh and Katrina hope the combination of their favorite dishes and a comfortable cafe atmosphere will appeal to their new neighbors.
We want it to be a place that you come often. We have a number of different sort of styles of seating, and those will correspond with styles of service. For the most part, really casual, walk up, order at a counter, find a cozy spot, sit in the window, watch people walk by.
Associations such as Somerville Main Streets and the Chamber of Commerce have helped the small business owners in more ways than one.
We've had a tremendous amount of support from all the neighborhood groups. Union Square Main Streets reached out to us before we had a chance to reach out to them. They were already posting our articles that came out with the announcement on their Facebook pages. US2, one of the development companies for Union Square, is actually in the same building. They've been very supportive, and Somerville Local First also, with our temporary restaurant, we were able to cook the food during their big annual party, and they were very vocal about letting people know who we are, and we get a lot of follow-ups from that. So these smaller neighborhood groups, they say something, and their membership is very actively engaged, so we see a follow-up from that.
Around the corner in Davis Square, Tech Hub Boston has found a new home at 212 Elm Street. Somerville is their first U.S. location with 6 other international locations. They serve as a hub for technology entrepreneurs, a place for them to share and grow ideas and create their own startups.
And what we're all about is bringing early stage tech startups into a physical space and also engaging in a virtual network to allow these startups to collaborate, learn from each other, and really get grow their business here in the walls of Tech Hub. When you're starting a business, it's not happening 9 to 5. You want to be able to maybe go back to your family, come back in and work, or go out and meet your friends for a coffee or beer or something like that. And that energy was exactly what we saw here in Davis Square.
Already up and running, Tech Hub began a Kickstarter campaign on July 8th to raise $25,000 to supplement their bottom line and expand their offerings.
What we positioned Kickstarter to do was help accelerate our student engagement. We see that there is a tremendous amount of opportunity to engage with the schools, high schools that have the STEAM and STEM programs, and give really these young students the opportunity to see how they can start their own businesses. And part of that is engagement. Again, we're fairly early days here in the US, but the idea of student engagement is a fabric of what we're doing here.
There are currently 12 Kickstarter and GoFundMe campaigns based in Somerville. As part of the new economy, these sites are giving people who don't qualify for traditional funding or who want to engage their community a chance to make their creative vision a reality. Juliet and Tech Hub illustrate the possibilities for crowdfunding. Other projects range from recording an original CD to a medical support fund. To find out about other Somerville-based projects, visit Kickstarter or GoFundMe.com. For Somerville Neighborhood News, I'm Giuliann Frendak.
According to the crowdfunding industry report released by the research group Mass Solution, global crowdfunding grew by 167%, raising $16.2 billion in 2014. That number is expected to more than double by the end of this year. Now, let's see what's in this week's Somerville Journal.
This week in the Somerville Journal, we're going to take a look at the fossil fuel divestment debate, check in on the new composting pilot program, and find out the latest on the Community Bike Path Extension project. Find us online at somerville.wickedlocal.com, email us at somerville@wickedlocal.com, or call us at 617-629-3391.
The long, lazy days of summer are the perfect time for kids to curl up with a book and let their imaginations take them far away. And the local library is a cool oasis that invites kids to come in and do just that. But there's a lot more going on at the library during the summer, a chance to learn, explore, make friends, and dream big dreams. Louise Liu visited the Somerville Public Library to see how kids are making the most of this community.
The Somerville Public Libraries take the dog days of summer seriously. Daisy is a reading therapy dog. She listens patiently as young readers turn pages and sound out words.
A monkey is in a tree. I want to climb a tree.
I think my daughter loved this activity with Daisy.
Yes. Maybe it'll make them happy, and I think as they're happy, they'll make other kids happy.
Daisy is visiting as part of the library's summer reading program. Every hero has a story.
The reading program is a good opportunity for kids to read over the summer because a lot of times kids will forget about reading. They'll play video games, they'll be on the internet, at the pool all summer, and those are great activities too, along with playing with their friends, but they really can't forget to read.
The reading program has over 200 participants this year, the highest number ever. Kids keep a logbook and check in with the librarian to talk about what they're reading and get recommendations.
Some of them might think it's more of an assignment. So we had some older boys who were a little turned off. They were like, oh, I don't know, I'm already reading for school. And I was like, no, but that reading counts. Any reading that you do, I showed them comic books, and they're like, oh, we could read comic books. And I guess the idea is to keep you engaged in reading throughout the summer. I think it's important that they don't lose any of the academics that they could by maybe not attending any school session during the summer. So I think at least 5 books to read throughout the summer, studies have proven helps kids continue throughout the school year, even the summer break. So I always tell them, like, you're not in school, you're not doing schoolwork, your brain is relaxing as your body is, so reading is a simple way, to keep your smarts while you're not in school.
Burning, we keep fighting.
We caught up with a local hero, Lieutenant Ken Lippens of the Somerville Fire Department, as he told his story and read books at the West Branch.
I enjoyed it. They were all great. Fun stories to read, and they listened. They had good questions, and it's always fun to come out and help out in the community and the libraries of the schools. And it's important to have different people in the community read to the kids. The library is a great resource. The kids can, they have a place to go, and over the summer, sometimes it's tough because school's out. So it was really important to come read to the kids.
While the reading program does encourage more kids to visit the library over school vacation, the 3 branches already serve as a special city resource for families during the summer.
There's a limited amount of space and budget for books at home, and so it's nice to be able to swap them out every week. And
why it's a great place to be in the summertime is because a lot of kids can't go to camps, and this is a safe place to go and do a lot of different activities and meet new friends.
I enjoy my time playing the computer in the library.
And I enjoy my time of picking out books and movies so I can watch in the library.
They love us because if they live really nearby, this might be the first place that their parents let them come on their own. They really like to feel independent, to be able to see a collection, just for the kids, and to pick out their own books. They like to be able to sign up to use the computers. Not too many families have computers at home, and we offer some internet time, so that's really popular.
Kathy Piantagini is the supervisor of Somerville Public Library Children's Services. She has been a librarian for 22 years and shares a special bond with many of the kids.
They're only kids you see in the summer. And they come and they sign up for the reading program, and you see them a bunch, you see them every week, and then that's it. No, until the next summer. I guess the opposite happens too, where during the school year we get regulars that we see like practically every day, and then for some reason, I don't know if it's day camps or vacations, but we won't see them until September. So then when we see them, they're a little taller, their summer haircuts have grown out. It's very sweet.
Summer reading is not just for kids. Every year, Somerville Public Library takes out one book as a community read. This summer, the book is The Martian, a sci-fi novel written by Andy Weir. The library has plenty of copies available. Readers are invited to discuss the book and share opinions with their peers. It's a way for the city to stay connected. Want to know what others are reading for the summer? Let's hit the street and find out.
I'm reading a book by Joe Hill. It's called Nosferatu.
I love mysteries, and I love reading Agatha Christie books, so if anyone who hasn't tried one of those should definitely try that.
I'm reading William Faulkner's Reavers, the name of the novel, and I'm enjoying it.
One of my recent favorites is a graphic memoir by the name of Marbles by Ellen Forney.
Right now, I'm reading a book by a friend of mine. He's a professor at Stanford. He's an engineer who's been at Stanford for 40 years, but he wrote a self-help book, and it's called The Achievement Habit.
For summer, it's just nice to be outside by the beach or pool. And
reading's fun because you can immerse yourself, and it can take you to different places. And I also like reading about people's stories, human beings, and their lives. I read mostly memoirs, so I just enjoy hearing about other people's lives.
It's very powerful, and I can't wait to read the rest of the book.
Report by Louise Liu for Somerville Neighborhood News.
To find out more about the Kids Summer Reading Program, the One Town, One Book event for adults, and all other upcoming library events, visit somervillepubliclibrary.org. And just a few doors down from the East Somerville Library on Broadway, you will find the United Methodist Church Connection. In 2011, Pastor Justin Hildenbrandt welcomed the first group of 30 children to the Freedom School program. Created by the Children's Defense Fund, there are over 125 freedom schools across the country. The program allows children to explore social justice, diversity, and empowerment, all while keeping their academic skills sharp over summer vacation. Our Erica Jones profiled the school.
So when we first came to Somerville, we realized that we needed to really walk the talk and we really wanted to bring something to Somerville that was unique, that would bless the community in pretty secular ways in some ways. And so we looked for a program that we could bring that would benefit the community, and there's a bunch of other churches that I know of that were doing the Freedom School. And so we talked to them and we heard about the model and we thought, wow, this is amazing, because something that all schools, all students struggle with, but especially urban school districts, especially immigrant school districts, struggle with summer reading loss. And so that's one of the aims of the Freedom School. So when we brought it to Somerville, we were one of the first multicultural sites, which I'm really proud of. Freedom School is primarily African American in the rest of the sites. And of course, Somerville's diversity is incredible diversity. So we have kids from El Salvador, we have kids from Eritrea, we have kids that are African American, that are white, all different sorts of kids, which is a real amazing environment to be talking about reading, to be talking about civil rights, but to really be talking about community, talking about who we are as people, that we all bring something to the table, that we all have something special inside that we can share with the world, that we should be proud of.
My name is Natalia Salmaran. I like Freedom School because this is a place where I can see my friends from school and have fun. And if I didn't come here, I would be at my house bored. During Freedom School, I've learned that there could be families from different colors, and we are all equal.
I learned how to make a pie, and I've learned how to be nice to my friends without hurting anybody.
What other things have you learned about different cultures?
That not each one of us are unique, and that each one of us has something special inside.
They read a ton of books, but a ton of books that are not your average books. They're books that are either written by people that that are very diverse authors, that have characters that are incredibly diverse, to make sure that all of the kids are exposed to characters in books that look like them, that are from their backgrounds, and by authors that are from their backgrounds as well. And then, of course, it's summertime, so we do have a lot of fun. Even in the integrated reading curriculum, there is arts and crafts and drama and singing and poetry. So each day we sing the motivational song, Something Inside So Strong, and the kids really learn to ingrain it into who they are, that really there is something inside so strong. They know that they can make it if they try.
This summer's Freedom School program will wrap up next week with lots of singing, dancing, and celebration. For more information on the Connection and the Freedom School, visit connectionumc.org. Exercise does not have to be a time drain. Just a few minutes a day can make a difference. Dr. Ira Michelson reminds us of the long-term benefits of daily exercise.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ira Michelson with the Health Minute. I wanted to talk to you today about a topic that's very important, namely exercise. There was a study that came out just recently looking at the relationship between health and exercise, and there have been a lot of studies on this, but what was very interesting was that this was a study of over 300,000 people, so a very large study done in Sweden, published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. And what they found out was that exercise, even modest exercise, had an incredible positive effect on our health. What they found was that 20 minutes of walking per day resulted in anywhere between a 16 and 30% increase in longevity. Imagine that just a modest amount of exercise, something that most of us can do, results not only in feeling better and going about our business better, but also living longer. So I want to encourage everybody to try to get whatever exercise they can. It doesn't have to be fancy or Olympian, but just something as simple as walking 20 minutes a day will be a very big benefit to your health. This is Dr. Ira Michelson for the Health Minute.
You can watch Dr. Michelson on Taking Back Your Health, which airs Thursdays at 7 p.m. on Channel 3 or anytime on scattvsomerville.org. Here at Somerville Neighborhood News and Scat TV, we have great news to share with our Somerville community. Scat TV has received the Overall Excellence Award for its size category from the Alliance for Community Media. The Hometown Media Award recognizes achievements in both the center's operations and programming, created by Access staff, community producers, organizations, and individuals. Here's a look at some of the shows from Scat TV and its many talented community producers that earned this award.
On this edition of Somerville Neighborhood News.
Clay is almost like a memory. You're not really teaching it.
I try to have as little interaction with police as possible, but being a part of teen empowerment has opened my eyes.
Your idea in terms of how to get a better, closer working relationship with our representatives in Washington.
Well, that's going to be key, obviously.
This is my first time interviewing a horse. Can you tell us your name and your connection to East Somerville?
I'll speak for the horse. To have such a lively city because given the alternative.
Bread and Puppet Theater is from Vermont.
Oh. Somerville Neighborhood News.
The award will be presented at the National Alliance for Community Media Conference in Pasadena, California during August. Congratulations to all the producers, members, and volunteers who bring their talents to Scat TV every day. That's our newscast for tonight. We'll be back on August 11th at 7 p.m. on Channel 3. In the meantime, check out our news stories at somervilleneighborhoodnews.org. Also, visit our Facebook page, Scat TV SNN, to comment and share your favorite segments. Tweet us at Scat TV SNN. We welcome you to get involved, become a reporter, or just share your story ideas. Feel free to call us at 617-628-8826 or email us at news@scattvsomerville.org. I'm Melanie Morris. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, we leave you with the sights and sounds from the Union Lunch. The Friday Lunch series runs through mid-September. Union Lunch is a cooperative project between US 2 and Union Square Main Streets. See you around the neighborhood, Somerville.
Let me be your salty dog, or I won't be your merry dog.